get off on the right foot. Hello there, as you know, I am Wimin and today we will get acquainted with the new watch. As you can see from the title, it's a Casio Retro. The reference is B650W. Have a great time. As with most models of this brand, there are many variations of colors, materials, dimensions and generation for a specific model. Therefore, here we have black, gold and combination of them. Specifically, this model is marked B650WD-1 as he has a gray case and bracelet. If you ask me, it is the most beautiful. As I said in previous video, I don't want to say anything about this brand because there is literally no person who has not heard of it. So let's get started with this cult wristwatch. The case is made of resin or plastic, and that is, in my opinion, the biggest drawback of this one, because it's quite easy to stretch from some slightly sharper object, either from some kind of wardrobe. Dimensions of this rectangular case is 38.5 millimeters here, without these two buttons. It's 41.3 millimeters in diameter, while from lug to lug, actually from here to here, is 33.1 millimeter. It should be said that lugs are quite large and that there is about 8 millimeters from this line to the end. Thickness is a little more than 1 centimeter, more precisely 10.5 millimeter. But don't let these 38 millimeters fool you. These square watches were slightly larger than you might think. I forgot to say that this body have 63 grams in weight. Glass is some of the case, as case made of resin, actually plastic, as you can hear. And as I said, and as you know, plastic is easy to stretch and leave traces, some like here or here and that. So be careful with that. The advantage of plastic glass is that it's very cheap and can be easily polished. On the back, it says which model is. That cover is the case of made of steel and water resistance of 5 bar or 50 meters. As you know, it's only intended for hand washing and for gentle immersion in water, so don't swim with it if you want it to still show you the exact time. And here that the watch is made of China. Of course, it's because of cheap labor. When it comes to the bracelet, unlike the case, it's metal, and I really like it. It consists of these kind of rectangular links that are 16 millimeters wide up here in this part, and when expand to 23 millimeters near case, which is a big differences, but this is what gives the watch a special charm. And it's made of a pressed sheet metal, and links, if they can call that, are hollow, as you can hear, which is quite expected for this price. The Casio logo is engraved on the clasp and a lock like this, and unlock like this. If you want to resize the length of the bracelet, you can do it by moving this part along the bracelet. I'm not going to show it now because there are a lot of videos about it on the internet. Even here it says stainless steel China. Okay, we have reached the most important part of the watch. Of course, it's a dial. In this case, it's a very legible screen. I also like this watch because you're able to see what the time is even from a few meters away. All screens of this watch model are on this type, but you can get a reverse LCD on black model. But that screen is not so legible like this. so this has a dark character against a light background, and I prefer that. Okay, it's time for functions and features. The first thing you notice is time, which is actually the most important thing. Above it, there are, in this part, there are day and date indication of whether the time is in a 24-hour model or as AM or PM, and this is adjusted with these buttons, as you can see. The button on the right side is for light, single light system, which is not so legible in the dark, and the left side, as you can see, I almost forgot, and on the left side is brighter because there's where the light comes from. At the same time, in order to see what time is in dark, you have to hold the button non-stop, and I would prefer it to be pressed only once, but that's the way it is. By pressing the lower left button, which is otherwise intended for remote, show us the alarm, which is further easily adjusted. When we press lower left button again, as you can see, the stopwatch appears. We start and stop with this with the upper left button, as is written here, and reset by pressing light button. So start, stop, and reset. When we press the mode button for the third time, we set time and date with these two buttons. It's very simple, and that's it. There are all functions. There are not too many of them, but just enough for average user, even now when phones are used. Now I'll show you how he stands on my wrist. And there we are. I'm keen on it. It's not so big, it's not so small, just right. I especially like these shimmering parts of the bracelet. Incredible. All in all, for the money invested in the watch, which is around 33 euros or 37 US dollar, it's quite good. The B650W is functional piece without any gimmicks. With such a lower price point, looks and features, it's a solid workhorse. That was a review, and these are my thoughts on the watch. Thank you so much for all of you who watched the video till the end. I hope you liked this video. If so, then check out my other videos on the channel. Goodbye, I'll catch you in the next one.